We will now look at two bugs that are possible to do with the fences. Okay, and the first is if the store and the release fence are reordered. That means the programmer put them in the wrong order. Okay, so let's see what can happen. First, U is modified, then the store to the atomic variable with memory order relaxed. That means these two can be reordered by either the compiler or the CPU, and then it does a release fence. Okay, thread 2 is properly written, so it first loops until it gets the suitable value of M, so that it knows that it has read the value written by thread 1, and then it does the acquire and then prints U. So since these two can be reordered, thread 2 can read M. I mean, what can happen is that first this is done, and then thread 2 reads M and executes the acquire, and then comes U. Okay, and the acquire will okay, and after this assignment to U, there is a release, but thread 2 had already done the acquire, so that release will not be noticed, and it will print an invalid value of U. Okay, so now you can consider, is this likely to happen? I mean, there is certain probability that the program might work anyway. It depends on what the compiler did and what the CPU did and what happens in the network between the nodes in the machine. And it would be a nightmare to detect such errors if they happen, I mean, maybe once in every 100,000 execution. Not so pleasant. So put them in the proper order from the beginning. Okay, if instead thread 2 makes the mistake that it first of all, we can see here that thread 1 is correct. It first modifies the non-atomic variable, then does the release. Okay, so when it does the store to the atomic variable, all invalidations have been sent, and the acknowledgements have been received. Okay, so now thread 2 do the acquire and the load in the wrong order. And what can happen here? Well, this acquire, it can actually happen before it can happen at any time before here. So it can even happen before the release. There is nothing that prevents thread 2 from doing this much earlier. And eventually it will read this and read U, but since the acquire may have been done before the release, I mean executed before in the machine, it may not see the proper value of U. Again, there is a certain probability that the program works and a certain probability that it doesn't work, and this is terrible to debug, so do it correctly.